Hi, welcome back to another episode, guys. Today it's not a book club, a bookanology video, but this is a new series that I'm thinking of bringing into the channel that I don't think I have done before. I've done something similar with my previous videos with playwriters and everything else, but we're not doing playwriters anymore, but we are doing something quite exciting. Another series is called Tom McHugh Investigates. So with this one, I will be investigating on strange happenings and everything else. So paranormal is going to be the main focus. And as I'm still currently researching it and everything else, not researching the topic. Oh no, I've done that now. I am researching a couple of exorcisms, haunted houses, haunted locations. There's even one actually happened in a prison, which I'm really excited to show you guys and everything else. I'm also thinking of looking into true crime as well, because I'm a true crime buff. Yep, that's me. I kind of got recently into true crime because I really love researching the psychology side of serial killers and all sorts. So stay in tune. If you got a case for me to look into true crime, put your links down below and I will investigate. But it can't be just true crime. Oh no. It can be paranormal. So the reason why I'm doing it, because I'm a big fan of paranormal. I'm a big fan of horror. I am a playwright who's writing stuff on concept art, like really absurd, dark, abstract art. I got one I'm currently writing at the moment. I'm also a gothic theatre playwright, so I'm writing stuff on the paranormal and ghost stories that I created myself. And then I really do like to do a true story one. So, and if you have experienced a real life paranormal activity and you're looking for someone to write the play for you, come and ask, and I'll see if I can do throughout consent forms. So anyway, let's get back onto the video. So today's video is a Tom McHugh Investigates. So I'm going to be investigating the strange paranormal of the Sallie house. And just to let you guys know, with the Sallie house, it is being characterized as one of the most haunted houses in the US. It's literally the most haunted place I never even came across on. I never seen places like this before. And when I saw it last night, I just basically watched Unfriended, and I have an obsession with the paranormal because they're really scary and it could happen in real life, you know. And I came grown an obsession of doing that as well. I've grown an obsession of let's do one of these, like where people do true crime stuff, but let me do the paranormal. So I will be doing the paranormal of the strange happenings at Sallie house. And before we get into today's video, I mean absolutely no disrespect to anybody I talk about in this video. This is mainly for educational purposes, that I found information from that I gathered from the internet and combined into one video. There are a few content warnings about this. There are talks about injuries, cuts, moving objects, and of course a death of a child. So if you don't want to hear it all this on this video, that's absolutely fine. Please come back for another video. One more thing, keep the comments nice and polite, because all these claims that are happening in this story of the Sallie house has really happened to people, and there's been videos, documentaries, and there's been testimonies saying that they all have been happening. It claimed from the residents and the paranormal investigators. So please keep the comments down below very respectably and be polite about it, and just spread kind kindness to help people who have experienced the most horrific events of their life. All being said, let's get into the video. So today the events took place in Agisson in Candice. So we're going to Candice, where this case has been set, and this town has been located alongside the Mississippi River. So the city has been named after David Rash Angus, who's the senator of the US. If I mispronounce the name and everything else, I do apologise. And there will be wording stuff in there that might mispronounce and everything, and I do apologise if I do say words that are literally coming out of control, not coming out of control, like mispronounced stuff. I do apologise. So I just want to put that out here. So from the city, the population was from 2020 is 10,885. And Inchinson is home for the Inchinson Topical and Santa Fe Railway. So it was named after a railway station as well. There's a railway station there. I didn't look too much into that, but it is a famous landmark as well. And also the Benedictine College, and the college that focus on educating students within the community about faith and scholarship. So it's a religious, I don't know if I would say it's a religious college, but I would definitely say from the research that it's educating students about theology and scholarship as well. So it is a religious college. The city has a huge important history with the senator and the college as well, but it also have another dark history that is centered in the town or city. It claims it's a city as well, but there is a dark element there, and that is the Sallie house. Before I will get into the Sallie house, I want just to tell you a little bit about the town and what it's known for. His historic details is well known as its historic charm, with the riverside setting, because it was alongside the Mississippi River, so it's a lot famous for its historic charm into the town. And if you look at the houses as well, they have that historic features and architect in there, and I felt it was really nice. The boutique shops in there, if you're a fashion vlogger, that place is definitely for you, for boutique shops. Quaint restaurants, cafes, really historic element, charm in there. It's a real historic town. It's a really beautiful little town, and of course the stately buildings as well. So the town and city, what is being known as in Kansas, is the most beautiful place in the world, and I think it looks really nice. Looking at the pictures and the research I looked into, it looks like a real pleasant town. Like, I am a walker as well, and if I hike around Kansas, especially that part of town, I just don't want to leave home. I will find my residence there. So then we talked pretty much about the town. Let's talk about the events of Sallie house. So this is the very first one that I gathered, and this is the name after the Pickman family. Tony and Derek, I think it's Deborah, I'm unsure, I will put it in the titles here, were a young couple in 1993, and they just moved in and they had a baby together. They had a child with them, and a dog as well, and they moved into this nice what they think a very nice, pleasant little house, and they're ready to start their lives there. But the earliest sightings that they have witnessed is with their dog randomly barking from the upstairs. So he's been seeing this strange activity. He just randomly, just started randomly like growling and growling, barking and barking, just at nothing, like just the upstairs bit, because next door is the nursery, and that's where some of the events that I have been witnessing, which we will get to that point sooner in the video. They have been witnessing some strange activity happening, and this dog was just there barking like mad, bark, bark, bark. And the moment they just like this, the family were like, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on in there? And it was just that strange happening, really strange happening. And even especially these strange happenings has started to get violent. Fires are starting to burst out into flames. There were like fires everywhere, like even a little flick of fire has started happening around with the Pickman family. And there's been like startings of objects being moved around, and it mainly didn't intend to aim at the wife, at Deborah, but it aimed, or the child, but it aimed for Tony Pickman. Like they throwed the house was throwing objects at him. There's even a operation room where they go in into house, and we will go further why it's called the operation room. But every time they go in, it goes stone cold, really, really cold every time they go in to that part of the room, because everywhere it was like warm, and there's loads of cold spots in there. And there is the basement in there, which is really, really terrifying. And I have seen Paranormal Investigations in there, and it was just so scary. If I was there, I'm always frightened to go down in the basement. Even when I was at uni and college, when we have a basement under the stairs, I get really nervous going down there. Like I get really terrified in there, and I just keep looking around and keep looking around. I just get so scared down in basements. So yeah, the objects around the house keeps getting thrown everywhere, especially aimed towards the husband. And the husband claims every time he goes into the nursery checking on how's that his child is doing, he witnessed scratches all over his chest and abdomen as well, all over, scratches. And it got really, really worse. There's even one part of the information I did found later on when I was investigating it. There was a claim that the house was asking him to murder his wife and his unborn child, because these happenings, not aiming towards them at all, but they were aiming towards him because he's the man of the house. And then, lucky enough, that murder did not happen. Lucky enough, the murder did not happen, and he said, let's get out of here. So they moved. They got out as soon as they can. And they did report in to the mayor that this house was haunted, and there's people claim it was haunted. But the mayor was saying, no, I don't want it to be haunted. And he's trying to forget and trying to not brainwash would be a word term, but try and tell everyone, said, nothing's wrong with the Sallie house, nothing's wrong with the Sallie house. There's a freaking, like, a man just claiming he got scratches on his chest. You can't just, like, say, oh, a dog did it, or a dog did it, because, like, why would a dog scratch someone's chest? or anything else. Why would that? Even they didn't say that, but that's just an example I put on. But there's like a man's chest have been scratched every time he goes to the nursery. There's like a scratches all over his whole body. And then he was like having mental thoughts of killing his own family. And when he went out of the house, those thoughts never happened. They never happened. It happened directly in that house. And when I was investigating it, there was this man on YouTube when I was looking into that case, and he said he heard rumours that an old woman was down in the basement setting rituals happening into the house. And then there was a couple of teenagers were happening around that time also doing the same thing. And they believe that every paranormal investigator, and I wouldn't say every normal, that's a bit blunt from me, but all the paranormal investigators all argued and believe that a ritual must have woken a demon up, which it was haunted all along. And it was all this strange happening, and it was got to that worse. Even there's been movies and television, even on the Sci-Fi Channel. I think this is what the movie was called. I think it's called the Sallie House. That was its name called, and it's been classified as the most haunted location in the US. Like alongside with the Amityville house, the house which I will do a video on that, and I'll investigate that fully for you guys. The Conjuring house included, and also in the UK, the Enfield haunting, the Enfield poltergeist, as it's been told. And those three houses I just mentioned will be videos I will be making. I will be making those videos for you guys, so you guys can have a little bit of a sugary treat on everything. So anyway, back to the Pickmans. So since the strange happenings around the Pickman family, the wife has written a book called The Sallie House, The True Haunting. And she wrote that book displaying her own life story of the house. And I haven't read the book, but I'm thinking of getting it on my Kindle, as it's £11 on Kindle. And I think it's like 200 quid on paperback, but I won't be buying I'm not buying paperback anymore. I actually made a stop on that. I even tried to see on Spotify. Spotify have actually got a new feature. Sorry, I forgot what to say because I get so excited about things like that. I just like, oh. They had a new feature on called audiobooks, so you can listen to audiobooks anywhere and it's all for free. It was just like, oh, this is so great. After this series I'm listening to on Audible, I might delete Audible and just keep using Spotify for books and everything else. That will be so much good. And back to the case, again, the mayor kept saying there's no strange happenings and everything. And then the rumours with the old lady doing rituals in there and doing paranormal, and some couple of teenagers coming down to the house creating these paranormal rituals to wake up the demon of this little girl. And that came with the history of the house and why it's been haunted ever since. Since the turn of the century, I can't remember the precise date when I was researching it. I didn't actually put it down on my notes, so I wish I could, but I forgot. But in the actual events, the house used to be a private residence and also a doctor's home. where patients go in there to get themselves checked up. It's still a hospital. I normally call, I don't know what's the proper word term, but he's a county doctor. He doesn't work in a hospital. He doesn't work in a hospital or anything else. He works from home in his private residence, and he staged operations. That's what they were like at the time. We still got them in the UK, but we don't necessarily have operation tables anymore. In here, we just have like an average doctor who comes in and check how you're doing and everything, like a caring system as well. And a mother who brought her daughter in, who's called Sallie, came in and said, "Can you operate on my daughter because she's got a stomach problem?" And he said, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, come into my kitchen and I'll operate you. And I was like, you have an operating room. You have an operating room in there. You could have used that room to operate on your daughter. Like, literally, you can operate your daughter. Why are you operating your daughter on a table, and didn't do the surgery there? I just found it a bit weird, really. But he did it anyway. And then he practiced this operation, and he cut her open, and then suddenly the little girl has died. She has died, and years go by. He died, his family had died, and the house was left abandoned for so many years. And it's really sad when I was looking into it that it was involvement of a child who passed away, and because of an operation that went wrong. And it happened, and also in the wrong place as well. Like when I look into true crimes, it is so sad when crimes happen towards the elderly and young children. And especially one case I looked into by Eleanor Neal, who looked into a girl who has a disability, or claimed she has a disability, but doctors could not confirm it. And then her friends used her, and then they abused her and tortured her and then murdered her. And if she was diagnosed earlier, they could have saved her. It could have saved her life. That's just a little side rant about Eleanor Neal, about that story. But it is a really seriously horrible, sad thing to think about, really. And especially towards a young child who's got a problem with her stomach. And so, yeah. And then when I was researching it, I went on to the sightings that other paranormal investigators have looked into. So there's claims that when every paranormal investigator, even an apex paranormal investigator, goes to the Sallie house, it follows people. Even they went to other parts of the haunted locations he went to, Sally's there. And when they went to the Conjuring house, the big Conjuring house, Sallie is there. But they are unsure what they called it, but they reference her as Sallie, the little girl who died in the kitchen while she was being operated. And being operated on a table, and could have easily been operated in a operation room that he did have and everything else, but he operated her in the kitchen table instead. And Sallie follows. So I will get to my expertise on this one, because I think I kind of kicked the bucket on this one to realise why she's haunting men and not women or children. I feel there's a reason why, but we will get to the end of the video anyway of my And there was a documentary was being made. There was a documentary that has been made, especially for about the Sallie house, and they got this spiritor box that goes zzz, zzz, zzz. And then while the other crew were gone to get somewhere to eat, the director and the other paranormal investigator, the box says, "Mummy." And I was just like, oh, that's just creepy. Even coming from a spirit box as well. And the director just played around and said, yeah, Mummy's here and everything else. And while you got all the investigators like, what the hell are you been saying? There's no one in there or anything else. And then he just played along with it, and it was just talking along as well. And also, this is how I found out about this case because last night after watching a movie, I thought I want to look into more paranormal stuff on YouTube, see if there's any really goodies on there. And then I have found, and I've found a group of them actually had one testimony that they claimed to found on their YouTube video, that an old woman, and I think it's the woman who did the spiritual rituals down in the basement, fell down the stairs and claimed that she fell down the stairs through a spirit box. That's what one of the claims and rumours, and it became a rumour ever since then. With these strange happenings with this YouTuber, I don't want to give out too much because this is his investigation that he found on his own, so I'm not gonna reveal too much for the spoilers of his video. It's called Paranormal Files. He's I think it's by a guy called Colin, who's really, really good. I think it's Connor or someone, but he is a very good paranormal investigator. I'm still actually currently watching his show right now, and he's just absolutely incredible. If you're watching this, man, thank you for finding this case for me. I absolutely adore your content and everything. Okay, overall, this is where I normally, when I do my playwriting videos or book reviews, I go overall how I feel about this case. I do believe it was real, no questions about it. I do believe in the paranormal anyway. I do get scared of going into a forest, especially at night, or a home at night when all the lights are turned off, or I normally get scared if there's like a power cut happening. I get really, really scared if there's a power cut. If there's a power cut, I'm out. I'm out to a hotel. I feel that because the case, the hauntings, is a demon of a little girl. So I believe that it all started because she has this hatred towards men, because this patient has killed a young girl, and it was an accident. I don't know if it was an accident or it was an operation. He was a doctor, and ever since a man comes into the room, that's their most target to attack people, and she ignores the mother and the daughter, because the daughter, the mother or the young baby, because she was a child herself, and she's looking for her mummy. And I believe that's what I believe, and that's my speculations on. But that's just my own speculations. That's what I think from the evidence. I looked into the information into the video, and that's all I found. And that concludes into include this video. Thank you for watching. I know it's been a long time, but I have been reading a lot of books. I've been reading a lot of books from October, that's from September actually, and I stopped halfway through. So I decided, you know what, I'll combine September and October all together, so you got a huge range of books. There will be a load of books. I'm looking at my shelf right now. There are quite a bit, but hopefully you guys can have a look. But I want to say thank you for watching today's video. Give this video a thumbs up, and if you got any cases, put them all down in the link below, and I will come back to you on my next Tom McHugh Investigates video. Stay in tune. Bye.